Jackson Archer. Thank you so much for coming back to another episode of My Family Watches The Falcon and the Winter Soldier for the first time. Tonight we'll be watching episode 4. I, along with a lot of other fans, are probably thinking that John Walker is going to lose it at some point and do something very unlike Captain America. It seems from the subscript text to this episode that John Walker is going to do something very unlike Captain America. Jake actually showed me a post before we started recording here, referring to what Dr. Erskine said to Steve Rogers in the first Avenger about the serum amplifies everything about you. It makes a good man a great man, and a bad man a worse man. John Walker has been the popular guy all his life. He's known power, per se, his entire life. So, I don't know, maybe we'll see him potentially be getting a serum at some point. I know that is a hypothesized theory that's going around a little bit right now, but I'm just ready to see more Sam and Bucky, and hopefully we get to see Zemo dance some more. That was a big thing this past week. Really interested to see what goes on with John Walker. Damn, I want them to get that shield away from him.
Yeah, I saw the stuff with John Walker and his shield being bloody, and I think that would be a really cool dynamic for them to get into, because that's part of the whole legacy with Captain America, is that Steve was picked by that doctor guy because of who he was at heart, and John Walker clearly is not that. Even Sam and Bucky probably aren't as deserving of it as Steve was. He was literally the only one worthy enough to lift Thor's hammer. So I think that'd be really cool if they explore that and then kind of make him into a villain. The picture I saw was like an edit, and they were relating it to the scene in Civil War where he throws his shield, like where he's getting ready to kill Tony, but he doesn't actually kill him. It was something like relating it to that, I don't know.
He's bashing something with
yeah.
a shield.
So I'm guessing, I don't know if it was just a fan edit, but I'm guessing he's gonna bash. It'd be really cool if it was a parallel to that and he kills someone with this shield like that, because that would show how he did something that Steve would never do. Yeah, that's all I'm looking forward to. And possibly something to do with Wakanda and Black Panther. Maybe they'll connect it to that too, because I saw some theories that maybe Chadwick or maybe a CGI thing with him will show up. I think that this could be a good way to maybe help send them off. But if they do that, I hope that also in the movies somehow they explain that or have a cameo or something, because I don't want it to be like you have to watch this to understand why he's gone now. So yeah, it's good.
Yeah, I completely forgot. We just watched the end of the 3rd episode to remember exactly what happened. Yeah, there's been a potential rumor going around that in episode 5, which is not the one we're watching tonight, but in episode 5, there's potentially going to be a big scene that could be described as both fantastic but also emotional. So I was thinking about that the other day, and I heard somebody definitely describe it as a big emotional scene or potential character. So I think that could be pointing towards possibly the Black Panther, Chadwick Boseman. And because at the timeline of this show, we don't know really what his future story is going to be, but I think that may be why it was described as emotional, because Chadwick Boseman sadly passed away. Chadwick or no Chadwick in this, I think I'll be happy with whatever it is, but that would be so epic to see him.
Hey, well, I don't really know much about this next episode at all. I just had a recap of how last week's ended, and that was really cool. So I want to see the Wakanda girl some more and see where that goes and what that's all about. And just the other thing is the shield. I want them to get the shield back.
Me too.
Last week I said I wanted them to work together and be better, and they did, and they are better together. That's Sam and Bucky. But now I want them to get the shield. So that's about it, those two things.
I think the episode will be pretty good. Sadly, I don't think that we're going to be seeing them actually get the shield back and be practicing with it until probably the last episode. Potentially like the last couple minutes of the last episode to set up Sam as being the new person to have the shield, the new hero to have the shield. Because Walker, let's be straight, he's not a hero. He's not a superhero. Do you want to see more of Sharon Carter?
Yes, of course. Girl power. I said last week I loved her. I thought Sharon was wonderful. Although, what did I keep calling her? I kept calling her
Sarah.
Sarah.
Yeah.
So if I say Sarah, I mean Sharon.
Okay.
I get names and words twisted. But Sharon, yes.
Yeah.
I definitely want to see her.
I was just looking to see, I can't credit who the comedian was who said this, but what you said Jake told you about super serum before, where it makes a great man, a good man great, etc.
That's what the doctor who created it in World War II said to Steve.
Okay, it reminds me of a joke. I'm going to say George Carlin, but it might have been somebody else. He said he was hanging around some guys that did cocaine, and the guys told him, man, you gotta try this cocaine stuff. It's awesome. It really intensifies your personality. And he answered, well, what if you're an asshole? That was his joke. That's what made me think of when you said the bit about super serum.
So it makes him a dick instead of an asshole. That's funny. Are you aware of how big the Zemo dancing scene became over this last week?
No, I'm not aware of that at all.
His dancing kind of looked like your dancing.
Oh, so the mega hit, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
People
We'll show
are-
it to you afterwards.
Hey, I danced with
That is
Zemo.
his dance move.
Zemo.
Zemo, I would like to say I danced with Zemo.
You could dance like him.
When the song was playing.
You did it for
didn't
real?
I?
Oh, yeah, we saw
You didn't do the move he was doing, but
no,
you did.
but I did my own move. I danced.
The
Yeah.
music struck you and you were dancing.
Yeah.
Sam just has this general notion or idea of not wanting the Shield to go on without Steve. And I can understand that point of view.
A certain point of view?
Whereas Bucky is very much saying, no, Steve chose you to honor his legacy by continuing the use of that shield that shields everything that Steve stood for. And specifically the scene when they're in the airplane in episode 3, Sam says something about I should have destroyed the shield, and Bucky basically says, look, the next Captain America, it's not going to be Walker, and I'll take it from him myself before you go and destroy it. I think that shows a lot. And maybe how much Bucky misses Steve, which is understandable too. And I don't want Bucky to have to take it himself because Sam won't. I hope within this episode or the 5th or the very least the 6th episode, Sam is going to come around at some point, and maybe Sam will come around to the idea of him and Bucky having to take on the legacy of Captain America together because of what John Walker is beginning to do with the Shield and under the guise of Captain America. Sam's gonna see that John Walker isn't representing Captain America the way Captain America is meant to be represented, and understand that only himself, Sam Wilson, and Bucky can live true to the legacy of Steve Rogers and Captain America. So with that being said, let's watch this episode. Falcon and Winter Soldier episode 4. This is Wakanda.
Oh my gosh.
Here it is time.
You sure about this?
You're gonna show us what they do.
I won't let you continue.
She's saying the words that would trigger him.
Work.
Clearly, I don't even. You are free.
First time he had heard those words and he didn't.
Turn it into crazy.
Yeah.
Probably could have been healed anywhere else, but a lot faster. Wakanda.
I'm grateful for everything you and Sharon.
Sie won't murder our Kinta Chaka.
Kama ito, ikufuna ikisikira guy.
8 hours by 12. Then we come for him.
Probably bombed the GRC supply depot.
What? What's the damage?
11 injured, 3 dead.
I have the will to complete this mission. Do the two of you.
She's just a kid.
She's a supremacist. Desire to become a superhuman cannot be separated from supremacists.
Serum never corrupted Steve.
But there has never been another Steve Rogers, has there?
So when I was a kid, my TT passed away.
Your TT.
Yeah, man. When I was a kid, my aunt passed away. And the entire neighborhood got together for a ceremony.
Seek to restore traditional border regulations and fast track the return to normalcy.
See what you can find out here. Excuse me. You heard of Doña Madani?
Where are they all going?
I know a woman by the name of Doña Madani. She was a refugee here.
International displaced persons, for what it's worth, and we don't trust outsiders. The Global Repatriation Council promised to send more teachers, supplies.
My old friend, Donia, passed away. Did you know her?
Zemo got the information. That's
Sorry,
hilarious.
Dad. Carly is the only one fighting for her. She's not wrong.
It wasn't just one community coming together, it was the entire world coming together.
Really think her ends justify her means. Then she's no different than him or anybody else we fought.
The funeral is this afternoon. Return to me once we get to Carly. Prefer to keep my leverage. You see what someone can do with leverage?
That's the rest of
Do you think I'm making a mistake?
If you're doing something and it makes you scared, it's probably because it's the right thing. When I was a kid, I was actually a Captain America fan. They need a leader who looks like that. What we're doing will outlive the legacy of that shield.
This serum is how I make changes.
Sarah, too.
Carly Morgenthau is too dangerous for you guys to be pulling at your shit. Start by telling us how you broke him out of prison.
We'll move in fast, take her by surprise.
No, I want to talk to her alone. I used to counsel soldiers dealing with trauma, okay? This is right in my wheelhouse.
If you can talk it down, it might be worth a try.
My associate is just up ahead.
John just seems like he wants to fight.
Yeah. What the hell?
Language.
Steve wouldn't use that kind of language.
You got 10 minutes.
Really?
Then we're doing things my way.
I was alone. Until Mama died. She told me that we have to do for each other. Because they weren't, after all, simply one world and one people.
Sam's probably going to have a somewhat reasonable discussion with her. Walker's going to come in and screw it all up.
Yeah, I bet that's what's gonna happen.
Can't get over him in that mask.
His suit just doesn't look good. I don't like it.
Not him.
I came alone. I just want to talk. Doesn't have to be a war, Carly.
They started a war as soon as they kicked us out of our new homes and onto the street.
I can't speak for millions, but I understand you.
What if I'm making the world a better place?
It's not a better place if you're killing people. It's just different.
This is a bad idea.
Grabs him in 10 minutes, John, just a type.
Oh, him.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, come on, soldier, stop him.
Yeah.
Bucky,
This
because
is all
beat
really
him
easy
up.
for you.
Yeah, because he's just a regular guy.
You
All
should.
that serum running through your veins. Do you really want his blood on your hands?
That's ridiculous. Everything I do is to end supremacy.
You're killing innocent people.
People I'm fighting are trying to take your home, son.
I agree with your fight. I just can't give it the way you're fighting it.
Carly Morgenthau, you're under arrest.
really think it was gonna work, Walker? Oh, hey, great. Now Zemo's gone. He just walks in big and bad. Like, she can kick your ass. She already did. She threw you off the truck. Oh,
Jeez.
Watch him take one.
That would be cool.
yeah, that's what I thought.
Oh, don't tell me he kills him.
He's totally gonna take one. You can't handle it, dude.
It's the bell, bud.
I want the serum back, or I will find you.
We separate them. And then we kill Captain America.
Were you ever offered it? Zero.
No.
But you've taken it.
Okay, Ben Shapiro.
No. No hesitation. That's impressive. You can't hold out hope for Carly. Super soldiers cannot be allowed to exist.
What about Bucky? Blood isn't always the solution.
I'm now ordering you to turn him over.
And so you're wrong. I had Carly and you overstepped. He's actually
Again
proven
already?
himself useful today.
Should I put down the shield? Make it fair.
You want it?
Oh,
Wow.
Hi, John Walker. Captain America.
I wouldn't fuck with them.
You might want to fight Bucky before you tangle with the Dora Milaje.
The Dora Milaje have jurisdiction wherever the Dora Milaje find themselves to be.
Oh,
You should do something.
Look strong, John.
Strong John.
Alright, let's talk about this.
Why are they stopping him? Why
they were gonna like kill Walker. Oh. Oh, she just dismantled his arm.
Well, Sam said you might want to fight Bucky before you fight him.
Oh.
Who are you, super soldier?
Instead of being humbled, he's just more angry now.
Do you mind?
Yeah, hi. Thank you. Have a good day.
If you had the chance to take the serum, would you do it?
Hells yeah. Power just makes a person more themselves, right? Probably more than thou, Steve Rogers.
3 badges of excellence to make sure I never forget the worst day of my life. Being Cap's the first time I've had the chance to do something that actually feels right.
Hello, it's your son.
Yeah, who's this? Our world doesn't matter to America, so why should I care about its mascot?
I'm gonna send you the coordinates to pass along. I can always meet with you and AJ and they'll cast there.
She said, come along.
I'm coming.
You're just a tool in the regimes I'm looking to destroy. You're not hiding behind a shield. I was gonna ask you to join me. But do the world a favor and let me go.
Oh, he already took the serum. Threw that guy out of the room and stayed toe to toe with him.
What'd you do? I got him, Mark.
Watch, he's probably gonna die.
And he is a good guy.
You're gonna do a superhero landing. Wait for it. Oh, fuck. Oh, that is so not practical.
Stay there.
Seems like Bucky's stronger than these super soldiers, though.
He's just a more skilled fighter.
Vibranium arm, if you get hit with that, it's gonna do more damage than a fist.
Yeah. Oh.
He's dead. He's gonna lose his mind now, but
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really hard on your knees.
at least the super soldiers should have stayed together.
Where would seeing Captain America do this? The direct mirror to
the
what Steve was about to do to Tony, but serum amplifies whatever you already are. Oh my gosh.
That's the picture I kept seeing, that last shot of the shield with blood on it.
Okay, that was a very eventful episode. It was just really good. That ending in particular was sad, but just really good ending. So Jake wants to talk first, so here goes Jake.
I haven't loved this show, but I loved the ending. I didn't love it, but I thought it was really good. It relates to what I was saying at the beginning with the worthiness, and John Walker clearly is not worthy. And that scene at the end was a mirror to Civil War, where Steve spared Tony's life. I don't know. I liked all the stuff with John Walker. I think, as messed up as it is, he's a really interesting villain because he's like the polar opposite of Steve. So I really enjoyed seeing that. And yeah, it's sad. It's sad that he died, but it makes for good television. So yeah, I think he's a pretty good villain. And I'm happy that Zemo's still alive. I thought he was gonna die for a second there, but I hope he sticks around. So yeah, this is a pretty good ending.
A lot of good things going on in the episode, but to start from the very beginning when we see the flashback of Bucky in Wakanda, and I don't remember the Wakandan lady's name, the Wakandan soldier under Okoye, second in command, but seeing her recite the words, the Winter Soldier words to Bucky, and it being so emotional for him that somebody can read the words to him and he doesn't turn. It brings him to tears almost. So that was just a really cool scene to see and to understand that he's really finally free from the Winter Soldier. You kind of get more understanding of Carly's ideologies in this episode through things that she says, but also how Sam describes things. And the way I read some of that information was that during the 5 years in between the blip, or during the blip, people helped one another. People understood that we need to come together as a race to survive this blip that Thanos did. And then all of a sudden, you know, everybody's grateful that the Avengers brought everybody back. They saved the world again. But maybe people were finally getting, 5 years later, people were maybe finally getting used to how the new world was, and out of nowhere, then everybody's back. And it just, on a dime, goes back to how life was 5 years ago. Maybe people grew to be more caring during those 5 years because of everything that transpired because of Thanos. And now that everybody's back, that caring nature is diminishing again. So she's fighting for a better world like it may have been as a result of the blip. What makes a super soldier, and why did it apparently never work the right way again than when it did with Steve Rogers? And Zemo says in the beginning of the episode, there's never been another Steve Rogers. Everybody that's taken the serum since then, besides maybe Isaiah Bradley, but he was never really known in the public eye, really the only other people to take the super soldier serum had been the Winter Soldiers, who were bad, and now the Flag Smashers, who are somewhat bad. So, like Dr. Erskine said to Steve in 1945, the serum only amplifies whatever you are, and that's what we see with John Walker at the end. And yeah, I'm sure he's done a lot of good and service for his country in being a Marine, but it seems that he has some deeper, darker, egotistic issues almost down more in his soul, honestly. And you just see in that final climactic scene that we know he's taken the serum already. Shot for shot, the same scene as when Steve goes to chop Tony's head off with the shield, but he doesn't because he's Steve Rogers. And he just dismantles Tony's suit. No, John Walker, he kills the guy. And the whole world got it on camera. That serum is only amplifying John Walker's traits and who he kind of truly probably really is. And he can't handle the serum. So I'm really excited to see where the final 2 episodes go and what they set up. I know there's a group called the Thunderbolts from the comics. I could be wrong because I'm not well versed in the comics, but I think the Thunderbolts are basically a group of people, a group of super soldiers that are not good Boy Scouts, kind of like Captain America was. So maybe this could be the start of a bad group of super soldiers that John Walker could be a part of, or possibly inspire to be created.
I took a lot of notes. My first thing was Zemo with the kids was great. Watching him talk to the kids and give them candy, and then get the little girl to talk in his ear.
My associate.
Yeah, it was great. I really liked that. I'm liking Zemo. I know he's a bad guy, and I know he killed whose dad? Black
T'Challa's dad, Black Panther.
Black Panther's dad. So I know he's a bad guy, but even that being said, didn't he? I mean,
Zemo's whole inspiration for wanting the Avengers to be taken down because they were partially the cause of his wife and son's death.
Right.
And what he says to T'Challa, Black Panther, at the end of Civil War, when Steve and Tony are beating the shit out of each other, he says to T'Challa, I'm sorry, your dad wasn't anything personal.
Right.
He says he seemed a good man, but it was a means to end the Avengers.
All I'm saying is I understand Zemo's bad, and Black Panther's dad should not have died as a result of any of it. But I'm not sure that is Zemo completely bad, or I mean, he's bad, but maybe not bad. I don't know. I'm conflicted.
He's almost, in this show, he's almost kind of an anti-hero.
Yes. So I don't know. I'm liking him. I mean, if you really go back far enough, his family shouldn't have been killed. I mean, should he react the way he's reacting because his family was killed? No. I guess what I'm saying is maybe we can have some understanding why he has done what he has done.
Some sympathy.
Yeah, I mean, a little bit of sympathy. But anyways, I do still think he's bad, and he's made bad decisions, and Black Panther's father was killed because of it, so that's awful. Him talking to the kids was great, offering them candy. It worked. It was funny. But I loved him singing the song. Baba Black Sheep, have you any wool? So I'm going to start singing that for this week until the next episode. I thought he was being secretive when Bucky and Sam asked what was going on. Oh, because he told the kids those guys are bad guys. Stay away from them. And I thought, well, he's not going to tell them anything.
Yeah, he said that, but then when they got back in the room, he did.
So I was like, okay, well, you redeemed yourself. I thought you were going to be secretive, that you weren't. JW is a jerk. We all know who that is. I wrote Zemo is funny. Oh, again, a Zemo thing. Zemo posed the question, I think, to Bucky and Sam, and said, if you could have, would you have taken the serum? I mean, I thought that was a legit good question for any of us to ask ourselves. If we could take a serum like that, if it was available and you had the choice to take it, would you? I thought, good question. And maybe you can't come up with an answer right away. You might say, well, of course I wouldn't take it. But I'm not sure. I mean, maybe you would. I think I might. And I don't blame Zemo for running, for taking off. Wakanda people came for him, and then there was this big fight with John Walker. No wonder he took off. I mean, he doesn't want caught. He doesn't want the Wakanda people catching him, or John Walker catching him. So no wonder he disappeared. I would disappear too. And then I wrote, JW is a turd. I said, I can't believe he's Kurt Russell's son.
Well, Wyatt Russell is Kurt Russell's son, not John Walker.
I don't care. I said, JW is a turd. And I can't believe he's Kurt Russell's son. Because now that's all I'm going to see when I see Wyatt Russell is a big giant turd. I wrote LOL. It's a good episode, even though I had a headache. I still really like the episode. And then my last thing is, I'm wondering, now that John Walker is a super soldier, in the end will the big fight be between him and Bucky? Because really Bucky, or who's the redheaded girl?
Carly.
Bucky and Carly are really going to be the only two able to stand up to them, and mostly Bucky, because Bucky seems to be the best super soldier fighter.
Bucky is highly trained. Both John and Bucky are top tier humans already, and now they both have the serum
and
too.
So I think there's going to be a big fight scene between those two.
When you said the line when Zemo asks Sam, would you, if hypothetically, if asked to take the serum, would you? Or if you had the chance to take the serum, would you? Sam immediately says no. Sam doesn't need to take the serum, but that's exactly why he would be deserving of it, because he doesn't want to take it immediately.
Yeah.
He knows he doesn't need to take it to be a hero, just to be a good person, or to make a difference in the world.
Right.
John Walker, in the scene that I forgot to talk about this at the beginning, when he gets his ass handed to him by the Wakandans, the first thing he comes to say is, they weren't even super soldiers, and he's thinking, and they beat me because and they're just normal women. Instead of being humbled by the fact that he got his ass beat by these better fighters than himself, he is just humiliated by it, or his ego is injured, and so that's why he shouldn't have taken it, why he should never have been a super soldier.
Because he's not deserving of it.
He's not deserving of it. What Dr. Erskine says to Steve when he recruits Steve for the super soldier program in 1945 is that the serum amplifies everything that you are.
Yeah.
A good man becomes a great man. Bad becomes worse. And that's what we're seeing play out at the end of this episode with John. He thinks it was cool.
I think that's a cool point. It goes with what I was saying.
Yeah. That stems from the post that you read to me before.
Yeah.
In their head, cocked up.
I don't have much.
You don't have much? You didn't think anything of that ending?
It was pretty good. Yeah.
Well, we've said everything that we
I
can
never
say
even
about
mentioned the ending.
I mean, I'm tired of John Walker, so I'm glad to see that it looks like he's gonna face a lot of trouble coming up because the world's gonna see how bad he is. I don't know what they're gonna do about it, but yeah, hope he goes down. I also noticed I come after the cat and the dog too. So
Not normally, but they look too cute.
But I had a little bit of a hard time following all the who's on whose side and some of the fight scenes in this one. Because what used to be the bad guys now seem to be helping Bucky and Falcon.
The Flag Smashers.
Yeah, the Flag Smashers.
Yeah, I don't know if I would really say that they were helping them. They were definitely fighting them at the end, but
Yeah, I couldn't follow all that.
it's not as cut and dry now with
It's not
John
all
Walker.
good guy, bad guy. It's
Yeah.
both ways.
Yeah.
I think the guy that Walker killed truly wasn't. I mean, he was a bad guy, but he wasn't the person that killed his friend. He didn't even kill the right guy.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's really.
It was
messed up.
Carly that kicked Lamar into the post.
So he should be going after her, if anything.
Yeah, I mean, that's what he said.
It just makes it even. It's already a bad thing that he did. That just makes it even worse that he didn't even go after the right person.
Yeah. We're theorizing that Walker seemed like he was obviously he's the new Captain America, but that he was going to be kind of almost doofus, or just not him being Captain America wouldn't work because he would just kind of be a failure. But it seems like he's actually highly effective, but in the wrong ways because he's killing people now. So do you think he's just going to turn out to be a doofus, or is he going to really become almost an enemy of the U.S. and our heroes?
I think he'll end up just being kind of a bad guy. I was guessing about him being a doofus, like just completely inept, but that doesn't seem to be the way it's going. I just think he's going to be on the wrong side of good, and they're going to have to deal with it now that he's a super soldier.
And not like good and bad as in one organization versus the other, but just good and bad at the end of the day.
Yeah.
He's going to be a bad guy.
Yeah, he's more out for himself than what he's supposed to stand for as Captain America.
Yeah. You actually stayed awake this week too, you're not asleep.
Mostly, yeah.
I have another question. Why would the government give John Walker the shield? Like, didn't they know? I mean, you would think all this time of him being in what was he in? The
Marines.
Marines. I mean, somebody had to have known he wasn't this great guy. I mean, he might have been a good fighter and a good soldier to some degree, but wonder what made him Captain America material.
In terms of performance as a soldier, like physical performance as a soldier, he was probably the best of the best of his era. And but what the original creator of the serum, who made Captain America back in World War II, what he understood was it was more what he says in the first Captain America movie to the general of the U.S. Army, he says, I'm looking for beyond the physical. It's not about the physical traits of the soldier to take the serum. It's about what kind of man or woman they are. It's beyond the physical traits. So the government, the U.S. government who picked John Walker to be Captain America, for starters, they didn't have a serum to give him. So if they thought maybe if he ever were to go rogue, that he's just a man with the shield. So he poses a little threat because he has the shield and he's a highly trained soldier. But now that he has the serum, that he took the serum, he's probably really not that great of a man. Just at the end of the day, he's just a highly efficient soldier. So the serum is showing that now that he's really not. He's not Captain America.
I've seen the original Captain America movie. How did that old man who made the serum and decided to give it to Chris Evans, I mean, how did he know he would fit the bill? He just knew his personality. And
he knew that Steve Rogers was a good man because Steve wanted to join the army to fight the Nazis in World War II, but he was physically incapable. He
was
had
too
asthma.
small.
Yeah, and he was skin and bones basically. So the army would never recruit him whenever he tried multiple times to get into the army. So in the final time in the movie that he tries to get in, Erskine comes in and and asks him
Oh,
basically.
he asked him questions.
He basically tests him.
Yeah.
He says, "Do you want to kill Nazis?" Steve says, "I don't want to kill anybody. I don't like bullies." He doesn't want to kill anybody. He will if he has to, but he just doesn't like a bully, which is basically what John Walker is.
Yeah. And Bucky or Sam would be better Captain Americas than that turd. Wyatt Russell is doing a good job as an actor because
He's doing a really good job of playing a bad person.
Yeah, he is. So
I think
give you that, John Walker.
Yeah. I think the actor Wyatt Russell had been quoted maybe a little bit around the first episode or a little bit prior to that he said, "I hope that I do a good job to get them to not like me."
Well, you are.
Yeah.
Good job, Wyatt. Good job.
But what's important is that we separate actor from character.
Well, that's kind of hard for me to do because that Christian Bale movie I saw.
Yeah,
I forget, American Psycho, I think it was.
Yeah.
And I've never seen Christian Bale the same again. I'm like, he's a psycho. So might be a little hard for me to do. You did your job, Wyatt Russell, but I don't know if I can see any different than JW. But good job. You have to be a likable turd, and John Walker is not likable.
Yeah. So I only bring that up because I know that there has been some hate towards, or that Jake brought up in a previous video, that there's been some hate that Wyatt Russell has already received. And you need to understand that he's not the character he's portraying in this show. I'm sure Wyatt Russell is a stand-up guy, and he's doing a damn good job of making us not like him.
I think it's just as true if you're gonna hate him because I think it's the same, goes the same way with like Chris Evans. You love him because he's doing such a good job. It's the same exact thing.
Really good episode overall. I'm sad to say that we only have 2 more left. I'm really liking the show. I know Jake's more excited for Loki, which is fine. I'm just probably the biggest Marvel fan in this house, so I'm enjoying every second of all these shows, despite some of the criticisms that everybody can have. Yeah, it's been a really good show so far, and I think you're spot on when you say that there's going to be a showdown between Bucky and John Walker, now that he has They were teasing that with when John tries to walk in to when Sam and Carly are talking and Bucky stops him. All Bucky has to do is hold his arm up. He says it must be real easy for you with all that serum inside you.
Can the Wakanda people come and help Bucky? I mean, why does I want to see Bucky fight him alone and take him down, but he could have help.
They only care about their agenda at this point.
Right now,
so that's why they beat up Walker.
Because he was in the way.
Because he was in the way of Zemo at that point.
So now they're not interested in.
But if they're trying to get Zemo again, or if Walker continues to be in their way, it's going to be harder for them to take down Walker now that he's a super soldier.
But I still think they can.
But the Wakandans have all kinds of assets at their disposal.
I'm like, dang, why don't they ask a bunch of them to come and boom.
Yeah.
John Walker's a pancake.
Very good episode. I'm excited to see where it goes within the final 2. I'm sad there's only 2 left, but I'm sure it'll end good and set up many interesting stories to come in the very near future. Like the video if you enjoyed. Let us know what you think down in the comment section. Any ideas or opinions you have about the episode. What you think, because I'm itching to hear other people's opinions too. Consider subscribing to the channel if you want to see more fun content like this. I promise next week for episode 5 I will have the shield painted and ready to go. With that being said, thank you very much for watching. Have a great rest of your night or day wherever you are in the world. Take care. We'll see you in the next.